We talk about Krishna as a leader, but we never imbibed him into our day-to-day life. The people I hang around with, the people who contribute to this purpose of mine, the students today are the leaders of tomorrow.
Hello everyone, welcome to this special episode of Chanakya Unscripted on Women's Day. Today we have a dynamic leader, a lady who is a business coach and a leadership mentor, someone who is dynamically teaching and training leaders of today's time. The lady who has boldly taken a step of home colleging her son and homeschooling her daughter in today's time. Founder, Director of Thapsian Talent Private Limited, we have Mrs. Varsha Shah with us. Ma'am, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Pranav.
Welcome to this special show on Women's Day, and thank you for taking out time with us. Ma'am, you've been a student of Chanakya and have been implementing the studies of Chanakya and all that you are doing. So really glad to know your activities and your work which you are doing. Few things which you would like to share about your experience after learning about Chanakya and the leadership principles.
Thanks, Pranav. Thanks for inviting me for this session on Women's Day. It really makes me feel privileged to be a part of this series of Chanakya that you're working on. Pranav, I did get this opportunity to be a part of the Masters of Leadership Science program at the University of Mumbai, and I can tell you it was a paradigm shift in me altogether. I have been into business for long. I have been training students, and but the way I looked at business after this program that I completed, I would say the clarity any leader should have, and that too the Chanakya way. It was as if Chanakya appeared to me and put across things in crystal clarity of how a leader should think, how a leader should progress, how the entire ecosystem of a leader functions. Also, if I have to put it in a way, I never thought that leadership is so much around us. You and me would have grown up reading the Mahabharata and the Ramayana. I never thought that also Ram had a leadership style, which we do follow, but we never knew it so clearly.
True.
Mahabharata, when we read the Mahabharata, we know the Bhagavad Gita, we talk about Krishna as a leader, but we never imbibed him into our day-to-day lives.
Yes.
And we speak about Arthashastra, and Arthashastra came to us like one of the subjects of economics.
True.
We never thought like it is something governments functioned upon.
True.
So that all happened to me. I can say I lived those leaderships in those 2 years of my program.
Wow.
And it has been such a great experience. My life has never been the same after that. It's just, I can say I'm soaring heights.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really amazing to know how principles of
I mean it by every word.
Yeah, ma'am. We can feel that in your way you have expressed and
Yes.
spoken about that.
Yes.
When we learned about leadership principles from Mahabharata, Ramayana,
Yes.
from Kautilya's Arthashastra, the
Yes.
Chanakya's writing which you're talking of.
Yes.
Any particular sutra or any particular principle which you have learned you feel has been one which you've been able to implement in your life?
Yes. There have been umpteen incidences in this whole learning, but one thing that has stayed with me through and through is Anvikshiki, the art of thinking, which this part was taken by our mentor, Dr. Radhakrishna Pillai, and the way it was put across to us, the way it has stayed with me. We all think. Thinking for us is natural, but we never think there is something called art of thinking, how we think.
Yes.
So when I came across this sutra, the first thing that happened to me, like you mentioned, I am working on leaders of today, which are the business owners, men, women both, and leaders of tomorrow, which are the students. So when I approach the schooling system, students are made to go through a process. As you know, my daughter is homeschooled, so students are made to go through a process of studying. Do they get time to think, which is a crucial factor which came across to me, dawned upon me in art of thinking. Anvikshiki we call it. The way you think, you pause, you think, you put in your original thinking to it, a science of thinking. That is what has stayed with me, and that is the crux of my whole learning that I am moving ahead with and I am taking ahead with. So every dimension that I work with today is on Anvikshiki.
Wow, ma'am, what a thought and what a point she's picked up. Do we give our children time to think? Is there a time which children spend in the day, and I would say probably monitored at times, or probably even directed by parents, that it's time for you to just sit and think about yourself and your life, probably I would say in this context which we are talking. Ma'am, you also mentioned about our mentor, Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai.
Yes.
He is the most famous writer on Chanakya in the country, probably across the world.
Yes.
Any particular book which probably has inspired you the most, or out of all the 17, which is the book that has inspired you the most?
Pranav, Radha sir has been himself the most inspiring person in my life, and he's Chanakya in reality for me. One thing, the book I am actually sitting across here with is the Inside Chanakya's Mind, Anvikshiki and the Art of Thinking. I am living every word of this book.
Wow.
So I have learned through the Arthashastra, the lessons that we learned, but this book is like a Bible. I follow day in and out.
Oh, wow.
So this
Inside
is
Chanakya's Mind.
Yes, Inside Chanakya's Mind.
In fact, Anvikshiki, the Art of Thinking,
Yes.
that's also one of the program we do, Anvikshiki, the Art of Thinking, and also, yes, the name of her company is Chanakya, Anvikshiki Private
Yes.
Limited.
Yes.
What is so dear to Sir is that he's also named his daughter as Anvikshiki.
Yes.
And just for the knowledge of our viewers, Varsha ma'am also worked on a project where she named the school as Anvikshiki School.
Yes.
So ma'am, we hope to see that dream coming to reality soon.
Yeah.
And in future probably have an education system which is working on Chanakya's principles. So
100%.
it would be really a great thing to see. When you are a business coach, a leadership mentor, how important do you think mentors are for personal and professional life?
Mentors, okay. Now when we even look at the way Arthashastra speaks, it speaks about Vriddha Sayug.
Yes.
And here Vriddha, I don't mean, it doesn't mean old people. It means people who can contribute to you, people who come with a little more learning than you. That we can talk about parents, our gurus, and they also come as a mentor. Mentor in today's leadership, in today's businesses, I would say, when I speak about stopping thinking with clarity, a mentor can bring that to you. So in a day-to-day business, when you are working, things seem like rolling, business seems like happening, but do you stop and check the dimensions of your business, which even Anvikshiki speaks about, the 7 dimensions of thinking.
Yes.
Okay, so does the leader, the Swami, stop and see what is his leadership style? How are his people looking at him? What is that his vision is about? Is it aligned with his organization? That is a crucial aspect which a mentor can highlight upon.
Sure.
Immediately after that, the Swami can focus on the next dimension, which is the Amartya, the core team. Is it aligned with the vision? Is the company moving together? Is everybody's core competencies aligned? Are they together in this moment? And there are 7 dimensions, but if I have to speak about the 3rd dimension, which is a Janapad, which is the people around, the ecosystem. Are we and the business and the product and the purpose aligned with the ecosystem is the next thing a mentor can come up with. And so on. There are 7 dimensions. In fact, I would say everybody should go through Inside Chanakya's Mind.
True.
And unleash those 7 dimensions of thinking.
Yes.
And that is what a mentor's role would come into. And I feel blessed to get this opportunity to be there in people's life, in businesses, to mentor them through this stage of scaling up, identifying and aligning with a purpose. At the same time, be along with the leaders of tomorrow, the students. Where I also, me as my organization in Thespian Talents, we work on the critical thinking model of the future century. The students today are the leaders of tomorrow. So what will work in the future? In the future, collaboration will work. In the future, critical thinking will work. In the future, your communication is a key to to get anything. And lastly, I can say confidence. So businesses may change, businesses may evolve, but if today's generation is trained on these areas, then they're bound to be successful leaders in the future.
Wow. So the 4 C's, you're mentioning about critical thinking, collaboration, confidence and communications. These are the 4 C's which is required for the future leader.
Yes.
Ma'am, you just mentioned about the 7-dimensional thinking.
Yes.
So in fact, let me just come to that question where I would like to ask you, this is what we're talking of is as the SAPTANG model. The SAPTANG model which says Swami Amatya Janapada Durga Kosha Danda Mitrani iti Prakriteyaha. This is nature. These are 7 elements of nature.
True.
And any organization can be.
Yes.
So how have you used this principle in your business or your practical life?
Okay. If I had to say in my practical life, I would say how it has happened within me. My core work is on discovering yourself in your business. Okay. So if I have to talk about the Swami, first I had to identify where am I heading, where am I going, what is that I want to create in this world, what is the purpose that I want to follow. Then I come to my Amatya, the people I hang around with, the people who contribute to this purpose of mine. Then it comes to the Janapada. Janapada here I consider the entire ecosystem around me. My family can be a part, my team members can be a part, my peers, my subordinates and everybody. Then I go to the next. Here we can come up with Danda, Kosha, Mitra that we speak about. So when I talk about my team, how am I training my team? Are they aware of where we are heading? Are they getting equipped to be in this mission with us? Mitra are all the people we collaborate with. The treasury, okay?
Yes.
When I come to the Kosha, how are we aligning the finances in the business? How are we taking with the investments in the business? And what did I miss? Durga. Durga is where my whole, where are my team, where are the people sitting? What are the place that we are using? How is the place aligned with our purpose? That also is something I worked on. That also can be my school, that can be my home. How well am I aligned with my whole purpose? That is how I have used in my way, and this is exactly the way I work with businesses, aligning the place of work with the team, with the Swami, with the Amatya and everybody around it.
Wow.
That is how actually I have used it. There is lots, Pranav, which can actually we can bring up everything and talk about it in detail.
Yes.
So for me I feel like if I go on, this is a very detailed topic.
No ma'am, it absolutely looks like you not only just studied it but you actually imbibed it and practically implemented the whole principles which are taught in obviously the book Andvikshiki and Arthashastra.
Yes.
And in particular Saptanga which we are talking of out here. Ma'am, we are here for a Women's Day special as we are doing this show. How do you think women in this country, especially a country which comes in with such a big heritage of women leaders in today's time, how do you think women can develop leadership qualities and skills?
Do they need to develop? It's already there. They need to identify.
Wow. It's already there, we need to identify.
Yeah. We just need to identify, acknowledge, and the moment I identify and acknowledge my leadership, that is where I experience it, and that is where I experience the greatness and I create that impact.
Wow.
So, it's the impact, the experience and the greatness and the legacy I wish to leave behind. That's a woman should get aligned with that.
True.
So it's within you. Know it, explore it, discover it. The leaders are there.
Wow. The word impact really makes me curious to understand. What do you think, ma'am, is required in leadership, especially in today's time, that can create an impact? Because we always look at leadership as someone who creates an impact on the society for some larger purpose or for a larger good, which we talk about.
Yeah.
So how do you think leaders in today's time can create an impact, a positive impact on the society?
First thing, Pranav, I would say leadership is a responsibility. Leadership is an accountability. It is more of compassion. Leadership is more of compassion. The moment I feel like a leader, the first thing has to happen within me is clarity of my purpose as a leader. The moment I dwell on the clarity of my purpose, the second immediate thing that has to happen within me is compassion of all the people around me. Everything that I want to walk ahead with, people with me who will be there with me, people who I may have to let go of, people I will want to get within my team. where I have to go with a clear understanding. We are working towards a purpose. Everybody has their intellect. I cannot be judging. There should be no biases. Nobody is less. Everybody is equal. And when everybody's intellect in different ways comes together, that's when a successful organization can happen. So we say like we should hire people who are far more intelligent than us.
True.
If we really have to grow the organization. So leaders have to first understand they have this thought, they have the purpose. ऐसे लोगों के साथ जुड़ो where you can grow with them. Don't leave people behind you just trying to prove yourself as a leader. In fact, walk with them, let them grow, everything grows. Your organization will grow, the country will grow.
The organization will go and the country will go. And if a leader makes others leader, they become a greater leader.
True,
that is what we learn from this. So, amazing. But for women, next generation women, today's, I would say, girls and young women who are around, what is that one thing from learnings of Chanakya which you would like to give them as a message, which they should use in their life and probably make sure they give right direction for themselves?
I would not only speak about girls, but since we are speaking on Women's Day,
yes.
Yeah, so it's for girls and even for boys, honestly, for everyone. But because women is a part of your life, boys. So it's for everyone. But still, I would want to say, if you want to be a leader, see, leadership is nothing different. Leadership is just the person that you are. A mother is a leader, a homemaker is a leader, as a sister you are a leader, as a wife you are a leader, wherever you are, whichever position you are a leader. Just acknowledge the leader in you.
Wow.
Acknowledge the leader in you. Accept all that is within you, which is natural to you, the strengths within you. Don't compare, don't judge, don't feel you're less anywhere, because everybody has their own skills. When I spoke about the Janapada, the ecosystem, let's consider the ecosystem is everyone, no? The human beings, the plants, the animals, that is how we all have come together. There's nothing less or more. Moment you acknowledge your strengths, moment you acknowledge the greatness within you, and you acknowledge that you are there to make a difference, you are the leader. So it's not the position from where you stand, it's about how you think. It's the entire mindset of how you look at yourself and how you look at others around you. So again, I would come, it's the way you think. It's the way your art of thinking is programmed within you. So that is how I would say.
Ma'am, that's super inspiring. I'm just getting mesmerized with the way you're expressing and explaining things. And I think you can explain.
I told you I live.
You live on Rikshiki in that manner, absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, what more can we expect from someone who's a leadership mentor? So that comes from there. Ma'am, can you then tell us a little more about thespian talent, which you are working on, and the inner strength coaching which you are also doing? So there's two companies which you are founder director there, a person who's running two companies, but then somewhere it's all about training today's leaders and tomorrow's leaders. So if you can share a little bit about what activities you're doing.
Okay. See, inner strength coaching is, as I said, it's all about the way you think. It's about leaders of today. Today there are business houses, there's everybody coming up with some thought. So inner strength helps businesses explore the best potential. It's like you discover yourself in your business, you discover yourself in your customers, you discover the entire ecosystem and what is that holds you back in your business. If your business is really soaring, going good, then what are the gaps? What are the gaps that your business, you may be overlooking it. So inner strength works on those dimensions of business, where we mentor business houses, where we mentor the CEOs of the business, and I even do one-on-one coaching with business owners. So that's inner strength coaching.
Wow.
And thespian talents is the segment where we work with the leaders of future. That's the students, as I said to you. So the forces which we spoke about, that is where thespian talents comes into picture. Under thespian talents, we have entire master franchise of a program which speaks to students through drama.
Wow.
So because drama is expressing, right? So we express them through various stances of life that they may have to face in future. So there are some tools that we use in drama, and this is done with schools across, I can say Thane, Dombivli, Kalyan area, where we function most majorly, and the schools we deliver this program. And there's a unit, the team of teachers who get trained for this, and then we deliver it to schools, wherein students get trained regularly. It can be an in-school program, it can be an after-school program, in which they practice nuances of drama. But it's not only about drama, it's about the critical thinking. So we give them snippets where they act on that particular activity. To give you a small stance, let's say there's a act going on that you're getting bullied, you're a small student, you're getting bullied. So we will do a role play to understand how the child will do a critical thinking in that particular situation.
Wow.
Now what has happened, the child has thought through that situation. So any time in future,
he faces that situation.
the child knows how to handle it,
wow.
how to be composed, how not to panic, how to answer, and how to handle the situation.
True. Wow, that's, in fact, we say that in India we are taught through stories, and here we actually live those stories and learn.
Yes.
In fact, bullying is another thing which is a concerning thing in today's generation, especially with kids. And Radha Sir's book, Chatur Chanakya, focuses specifically upon this particular issue in the society about bullying. And in fact, the second book which has come out is all about cyberbullying, because in the digital world now, it's all about cyberbullying, how people troll someone, or probably they just follow someone and trouble them in such a particular manner. This is really becoming...
Sir is already working on that segment, so that children get to know. That is exactly the way he writes, students read it, they understand it.
True.
Similarly, we working directly through role-playing model.
Wow. That's amazing, ma'am. In fact, would love to come down once and have a look at a show live in action. And ma'am, really great interacting with you. Thank you really for sparing this little time so that we can at least take your thoughts to audience and your experience after learning Chanakya and his principles in life. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks.
Thank you everyone for joining in. That was Mrs. Varsha Shah for us, who taught us those 4 C's. Remember, critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and confidence. The 4 C's which tomorrow's leader should know and should work upon. So thank you very much. Keep following us, and
Happy Women's Day.
Happy Women's Day to all.